Hi Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your Mercury retrograde reading for you. Now, this Mercury retrograde is from February 17th to March 10th, and we're going to be seeing how this is going to be impacting you and what Spirit and your angels want you to know in order to have the very best Mercury retrograde you can possibly have. So let's dive right in, and let's start with your Spirit Guide Animal cards. How will Scorpio be affected by Mercury retrograde, February 17th to March 10th, 2020. How will Scorpio be affected by the Mercury retrograde, February 17th to March 10th, 2020? How will Scorpio be affected by Mercury retrograde, February 17th to March 10th, 2020? Show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly. Fantastic. This one right here. Oh, I love this one. This is my favorite one, the lizard spirit. It says, dream the world into being. That is beautiful. How will Scorpio be affected by the February 17th to March 10th, 2020 Mercury retrograde? How will Scorpio be affected by Mercury retrograde, February 17th to March 10th, 2020? How will Scorpio be affected by Mercury retrograde, February 17th to March 10th, 2020? Show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly. Oh, goodness. This one right here, love. And this one right here, inner child. Oh, that's beautiful. So the heart chakra is really shining through. So you have the heart chakra and the retrograde, of course, which affects all communication, listening, everything like that. So we have the throat chakra shining through even before anything else, just because so the throat chakra so represents this retrograde that we are going through. So let's see. How will Scorpio be affected by Mercury retrograde, February 17th to March 10th, 2020. How will Scorpio be affected by Mercury retrograde, February 17th to March 10th, 2020? How will Scorpio be affected by Mercury retrograde, February 17th to March 10th, 2020? Show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly. Fantastic. Okay, so we have the 10 of Swords, the Queen of Cups, okay, that's you, Scorpio, oh my gosh, and the King of Clubs. So you have here you shining through as the Queen of Cups, your water sign energy, represented by the cups in the minor arcana, represented by the Death card in the major arcana, and then you have the King of Clubs, fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Then we have the Two of Cups, the minor arcana Lovers card coming in, the Queen of Swords, so your heart and your mind definitely need to work together. The Four of Swords, needing time to rest. Excuse me. The Page of Cups, being a student of your passion, your creativity. The Six of Coins. The Emperor, strong fire sign presence here. Well, fire sign Aries presence. And then you have the Two of Clubs. Okay. So let's start off with the lizard spirit. And this says, dream the world into being. What you're focusing on, what you're dreaming about, what you're listening to, what you truly want within your life. This is going to be the time where you start making your dreams a reality. Not in the time where you start working with everybody, collaborating, but kind of setting down what you want. Because there's a malleability to this time that there's this flexibility to this time that you are really going to be able to enhance. You're really going to be able to play off of it, to have ideas form and shape and be inspired as you move forward. And what you focus on mentally is going to be what you get during this time. So really be conscious of your mind, because what you love, where your heart is going to affect how you think of things. And that's just for everyone. So your heart chakra is shining through like nobody's business. You have love right here. The heart chakra is also, the inner child. It is love in all its forms, its play, its compassion, its acceptance, its nurturing, its intimacy, its joy, its laughter, its balance. It's giving and receiving of pleasure. And here you are really embracing that during this time. Now, also don't get caught up just in the pleasure of it all. For a Mercury retrograde, and in a Mercury retrograde, you could think that you're in a really good relationship, especially if you meet somebody during this time, and then things can just go pear-shaped. So just be very, very mindful, especially since there's just a sense here of you embracing your sensuality, you embracing your pleasure, what you want from life, what you desire from life, moving forward with a bit more confidence, a bit of a kind of swagger to yourself. I see that this retrograde can kind of make you doubt the way that you're moving forward, but as it makes you doubt, it also makes you see what you really love and appreciate within yourself, what you really want within yourself, and that's the game changer for you. It's also connecting with your inner child, connecting with your inner self, saying, I love me, and I'm moving forward towards what I desire, what I want, and what I need. And as you do so, the art of listening is going to be so important to you, because what you are communicating, what you want, is the way it is received by people is all about listening. All right, it's all about the way they interpret your words, whether they listen through, reading something that you wrote, which I know this isn't quite listening, it's, reading, but it's going to be the way that they take in everything, and even your energy that you're giving off, that's going to be a way that they are listening to you, the way that they are, communicating with you. And communication, for you, a lot of this communication is going to be done without words. So the body's communication, emotional communication is going to be very, very important to you. But because a lot of communication is done without words, there's going to be, and this is Mercury retrograde, there's going to be a lot of room for error during this time. So don't be really hard on yourself, especially since you're coming to things with, it can be a broken heart, but with like a weight upon your shoulders and a sense of, am I going to be able to move forward the way that I want to? And the answer is absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. But there is a sense of needing to listen to what you want and needing to find the joy, the laughter, and embrace your dreams of the future and your dreams for the present. Actually, your dreams for the present are going to be the most important as you move, as you embrace, as you cultivate what you desire, and as you communicate your soul's wish with yourself. And a healing and cleansing of your throat chakra is going to be very important to you. I would actually really focus on the heart chakra cleanse for you, Scorpio. That is the one that's really coming out here as being super important, super, powerful for you. But the throat chakra, because communication is going to be so paramount to you during this time, and the way you're interacting with people, the way you are getting your ideas across. And again, I don't really see this as the communication with people, because you tend to keep your ideas to yourself. It's the emotional communication. It's the way that you interpret their body language, their looks, their this, their that. That's going to be so important to you. It's going to be all the little things. And then it's what is said. So here, for you, the Mercury retrograde is intense, yes, because you have the Ten of Swords right here. It's overwhelmed. This is the darkness before the dawn. This is feeling betrayed, and that can be why, that can be why you don't really communicate that much with people, or you are kind of keeping yourself to yourself during this time, because there is the sense here of the darkness before the dawn, the sense of, feeling betrayed, overwhelmed, taken advantage of. But you have the Emperor right here. Now, it can be by a Aries energy. This is a time frame March 21st to April 19th. But also note that this time period, the Mercury retrograde starts in Pisces and it ends in Aquarius. So this is a very emotional time. And as a water sign energy, this is a time that's going to be, it's highly emotional already, and as a highly emotional being, it can amplify the emotions of this. So within your mind, it can be that things are made more intense and more kind of all or nothing, than they actually are. It's kind of like, it's just, okay, I know it's really funny, and Spirit's saying you have to share, but it's kind of like Scarlett O'Hara, the way she reacted to things, just like so over the top. So in Gone with the Wind. Yeah, and I watched that movie when I was so little. Oh my gosh, I can't even believe it's coming into my head. But here, there is just the sense here of kind of being that over the top, or having that over the top presence in your life during this time. Now, I see it as being you, so I see you as being absolutely able to move mountains, if that's what you want to do during this Mercury retrograde. If you're focusing on yourself and you're not letting thoughts, doubts, fears, apprehensions get the best of you, you're the Emperor. You are the Emperor. You are mighty. You are strong. You know your throne. You know your place in this world. And this is what you were born to do. And so you absolutely embrace it. Now, if you are questioning things, and you're looking at things and you're saying, oh, I don't know, the Emperor, an Emperor who doubts is has an unsteady kingdom, has an unsteady rule. So you don't want to be doubting yourself. Here, Scorpio, that's what I'm really seeing. So it can be that you've decided, I'm not going to make any big decisions because communications are all messed up and decision making is all through communications. Anything that I produce at this time is a way of communicating with the world, and anything that I do during this time is a way of communicating with the world. So you're kind of taking everything in, soaking everything in, and then making your big decisions either at the end or really thinking things through and then making these decisions during the now. Now, do note that if this is an Aries that is giving you a really hard time, and Aries in their proper form, in their positive aspect, is like David, claiming the throne. David in the Old Testament, in the Torah, claiming the throne, knowing what you desire, seeing that you are flawed, but embracing your humanity. But this is also you. You're seeing that you are flawed, and you're embracing your humanity and your power and claiming your throne and saying, okay, I'm going to be working, developing, redefining myself in many ways. But the negative side of an Aries is being like Nero, who plays his fiddle as Rome burns. And I'm going to say, with the frustration that I'm seeing from the Ten of Swords, is that when things get to be so much or too much, you could see yourself kind of wanting to step back and kind of wanting to be, just kind of let it all go, let everything burn in this retrograde. I'm going to come out, I'm going to be fine, and I'm going to move forward. So that is going to be something that you have to battle against, because here that's going against love. That's going against what your heart truly wants, because here you're dreaming the world into being. You're embracing your reality. You're dreaming your reality, and you're the Queen of Cups. There's a healing, beautiful sense to you. There's a soothing to you, and you might find people who are really frustrated start to come to you, and you have it's a strong Aries present, but also fire sign presence, Leo and Sagittarius. So it can just be that you're astoundingly passionate during this time, and you save up that passion. You're looking at things because you're going to feel so much more comfortable behind the scenes. I mean, especially, and I know I'm jumping, but especially when it comes at your roots, with your mind, what you're thinking, the Queen of Swords, yes, you can be a bit sharp-tongued during this time, all right? And when you have an air sign energy coming in, especially as the Queen or as the King, Page and Knight, all the court cards, it can mean that you have a tendency to be sharp-tongued, because all air signs do. They can get sharp, they can get really cutting, really to the point, and kind of a bit nasty. So know here that, that energy can be part of you during this time, where you're seeing things, and you're seeing things in a very distinct light, because communications are all mucked up. You can get very sharp-tongued, or you're dealing with somebody who is very sharp-tongued. Now, I myself am an air sign energy, so when I say this, I'm not trying to insult all air sign energies. I'm just trying to say this is a fact about us. Just like with water sign energies, can get way too emotional, way pulled by the undertow of existence, of the current of your emotions, and just brought off course. So that is going to be also something that comes up during this retrograde, especially since it's such a powerful time for you. It's such an emotional time for you. You're going to need to balance your heart, because your heart, as emotional beings, your heart dictates everything. Your heart calls to what you truly want, to the way that you truly want to move forward, to what you love, to what you desire, to where it is that you truly want to be. And as you listen to your emotional truth, that affects your mind, that affects the way that you see things, that affects the way that you listen. And as your heart and your mind come together, it brings you to a place of passionate power, passionate prosperity. This is also saying here that as you embrace what you love, as you have this truth come to you, as you embrace your power, you have the Six of Coins, you have prosperity, you have abundance, you are able to give and you are able to receive. But be very mindful of people who only want you to give, and give. There has to be kind of a symbiotic relationship here, this beautiful flow, this beautiful connection and power of giving and receiving and blessings and nurturing and moving forward, or else you're really not going to be into that relationship. Whether it be a work relationship, a home relationship, a school relationship, there has to be that give and take, or else there can be problems that arise, and there can be anger and resentment that starts to build up. With the Queen of Swords, you're really not going to be shy of sharing your feelings, and it can come across a bit cutting at times, but you have the Two of Clubs right here, where you're looking at your future, you're looking at what you desire, you're also going to be really into speaking the truth. Now, you're a Scorpio, you're into speaking the truth no matter what, and you would rather have somebody tell you a harsh reality than a pretty lie. And that's going to be really the way that you come at this Mercury retrograde, because communication is going to be so muddled, so mucked up. It can be that, things get out of hand. And so you're going to really be that type of person during this retrograde that is kind of like the person who sticks their sword in the ground and holds on and says, listen, I want the truth. the whole truth and nothing but the truth. And I am going to be this beacon of light. I'm going to be this beacon of truth. Now, it's not saying being mean. If somebody's wearing something that you don't like, you don't have to tell them about it, or something to that effect. But it does mean that you're not going to put up with bull during this time. And you're going to see that with everything that gets more chaotic and the people are reacting more chaotically around you, you're going to hold more steadfast to the truth, to the power of the truth, and to the power of what you truly want. And you're going to see that that opens up roads for you, because people are going to sit there and say, wow, you really are steadfast. You really know what you're doing, Scorpio. I want to be in your camp, but you're also going to find it rather exhausting. So this is also a time where you need to rest. You need to take care of yourself, taking care of you, making sure you get a good night's sleep, and making sure that things are just a little bit luxurious during this time. Kind of like a little bit extra is going to be really beautiful to you. It's really going to call to you. So, your sheets are done really nice, or, you decide to, wash your sheets more often, so that they're always like, you always come into a nice crisp bed, if that's what you can do. Or it's just something like this. I just see luxury. I see, I see luxury around you, and that's going to be the way that you want to rest, in luxury. So whatever is luxurious to you, spraying, perfume on the bed before you go to sleep, even if it's just you in the bed, that is going to be something that can bring you a lot of joy, and just a lot of, a sense of feeling really pampered. Pampering yourself is going to be another way, connecting with the earth, doing something that might be getting your hands a bit dirty, yard work or something like that, gardening, to be able just to rest, depending on where you are in the world. Just to be able to rest, just to be able to connect with the earth, because you're going to see that it recharges your battery. Also, you're going to be overthinking certain things. So with the Four of Swords, this in the Rider-Waite-Smith, it's a coffin with 4 swords above it. So in medieval times, a person, when they would come back from crusade, they were wealthy enough to have a coffin made for them. They would go and lie in the coffin, and they would think of all the ways that they could have not come back from battle. You might very well see this Mercury retrograde as also a time where you start doubting your words. You start seeing where somebody could misconstrue, and you could have hurt somebody's feelings, and it could keep you up at night, when really Mercury retrograde needs you to rest. You need to rest during this time to be able to be the best you and deliver, the most important, powerful information that you can during this time, or powerful front. And if you worry, it will take away from your time to love, to celebrate. So don't worry. And I know that that's really easy to say. I mean, I myself do it, play things over in your head, like, wow, I wish I would have said that differently. And if I could do that conversation over again, or if I could do that time in my life over again, the fact is you can't. And it's a blunt truth, but it's kind of like, you'd rather it be blunt than it be fake. So here, stop yourself. Say, is this helping me? Is this moving me forward? You can sit there and say, is this going to make me money in the end? I guess that's always like the greatest kind of equalizer, I find anyway. If I'm exhausted, will I be able to, do my job well? Will I be able to be, the parent that I want to be, the partner that I want to be, the business person that I want to be, the, teacher that I want to be? You sit there and you say that to you, and it's like, oh, okay, that will make things more clear. And it'll also be like, is this a lesson for me to learn, or is it a lesson that they have to learn, and I can't take their lessons from them? These are going to be things that stabilize you, that center you during this time, and move you towards what you love. Now, this is a sense of love for yourself, power and truth of your heart, and you're being healed, but you're also being ferociously brave when it comes to love. This can be that you meet somebody, and in a Mercury retrograde, you usually don't want to meet anybody. So it's kind of like you're going along your business, you're doing your thing, and as information, as beauty comes your way, you're taking it and you're really celebrating it. And this can be something that somebody finds really attractive in you, and then at the end of this Mercury retrograde, you can find that either you've built up a friendship, but you can find that after the Mercury retrograde, things don't go all haywire with this person. It's like, oh, okay, you were honestly you, and you were weathering the storm with me. And that's something that would be really beautiful. You're also calling to the masculine and feminine aspects of yourself, finding this balance of soul, this power of purpose, which leads you to the Emperor, which leads you to being, feisty and, passionate and, determined to rule as you want to in your life, determined to sit on your throne and say, yes, I've made mistakes. Yes, I've failed. Yes, I've fallen, but I am beautifully and wonderfully human, and I'm not letting that distract me. I'm not letting that take away from me as I look at the road that I'm walking down, and as I look at the options that lay before me. And as you're looking at your future, and then we have here the Page of Cups. This is you being a student, but also learning something beautiful because of the halo around that fish. It's kind of like there's some greater mystery. There's some greater truth that is told to you in a very kind of benign way, in a very, unseeming, odd. It can be odd, like you're sitting there, like talking fish. Come on. But it is a sense of some sort of wisdom being shared with you, and you being a student of wisdom. You're also getting messages of the heart during this time, and you really have to listen to your heart, because emotionally you might find yourself, and it's very likely that you will find yourself drained and overwhelmed. And if you don't listen to your heart, if you don't listen to what your heart wants, your heart's truth, it will be too much, and you'll sit there and think, wow, I messed up, or wow, I wish I could do things differently, or wow, I took a more emotional beating than I wanted to during the retrograde. Like, it was harsher than it needed to be. And so you're learning how to balance things by listening to your heart self, but also listening to your inner child, listening to the way that you would love to bring laughter and beauty and joy into this time. And this brings you to the King of Clubs. Now, fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, you're finding that the water warms you. Not the water, the fire warms you. You are water. The fire is warming the water. But you do not want to let passion get to the point where you're like a kettle that burns off. It's kind of like the kettle just keeps on, screeching on the stove if you don't have an electric kettle. And then all of a sudden there's nothing left in there, and the kettle becomes burning hot. So when you touch it, you scold yourself. There's some sort of warning here of like becoming too emotionally passionate with things, like taking things too personally, it being too much, and it can be like a boiling point for you. But here, if you balance that passion, if you look at what you desire and you say, this is what I want, again, this is the throne that I want to sit on, this is my passion, this is my creativity, this is what I'm bringing to the situation, this is what I love, you will find yourself very empowered, you will find yourself very invigorated, and you will find yourself astoundingly focused. As you do so, you will find that there's a giving and receiving from the universe in you, but also from the people around you. And you're going to be putting an end, nipping in the bud, people who just take and take and take and never give back. You have a repeat of the number 4. All right, this is very much talking about taking care of yourself, taking care of your heart, your soul, the way that you emotionally respond to things, and the temple, your body, the temple of your soul. So that's going to be very important. If you could have a spa day during this time, I know it might sound funny, but if you could do something where you just lay down and relax, or put on sunscreen and sit in the sun if it's warm, even if it's not warm and it's sunny outside, like it's bearable, if you could be out in the sun, just cool, like just connecting with the earth, connecting with your passion, because that's connecting with the fire, so that the fire doesn't burn so brightly inside of you, where you feel like you're not doing enough, and you feel like your passion is just growing and growing, because the logic part of you here at your roots, the Queen of Swords, this sense of, I know what I want, I know what I desire, and cutting through doubts and fears, that's going to be so important to you during this time, because you're not going to let miscommunications hold you back. And communication is going to be astoundingly important to you, and you're going to see new opportunities start to arise because of your ability to communicate. The repeat of the number 2, communication, connecting with people, working with people, even though during this time you're going to be very selective of who you work with, or try to be very selective of who you work with. And when you work with them, there is this sense of you falling into harmony, you seeing new roads open up, but also you falling into harmony with yourself and feeling yourself being rather empowered and emboldened from facing the difficulties and being challenged. Your subconscious message is the 4 of Cups, another 4. So this is very much saying that God, Source, Spirit, however you see the gifts of the universe, God, Source, Spirit, however you see the divine, the universe, is handing you a gift. It's handing you a gift of love, of connecting with your heart, your soul, yourself. Something very, very personal to you is what it's handing you. And you're going to be so focused on other things that you might not be seeing this till the end of the retrograde. But if you see it before, take it. Like, if you see little gifts coming your way, it's going to be very small. It's going to start off very small, tiny little gifts, things that just ease your worries, things that speak to your heart, things that speak to your soul. You will find yourself moving forward. You will find yourself empowered. And then your subconscious chakra message is the 3rd eye chakra, visualization. Know what it is that you want. Keep it in your mind's eye. For this retrograde, focus on one thing. And it can be, your dreams becoming reality. It can be, okay, I'm staying focused towards my goal of being prosperous, of being bountiful, of moving towards my glory, of moving towards my grace, of knowing what it is that I desire. And as you do so, you see yourself energized. You see yourself, more focused, because you're holding that vision in your mind's eye of what you want. And again, one thing, it's like one thing that is really important to you. It can be getting more organized. It can be, during this retrograde, you find that it's a fantastic time, and you might find that it's a fantastic time for kind of like spring cleaning, out with the old, in with the new, because this retrograde, it creates chaos. So you're going to want to manage chaos by managing your own personal space and your own self. So you might feel very inclined to do spring cleaning, or to be working out things for you. That's what I'm seeing here. It's kind of like taking control where you can, and start visualizing the life that you want, the place that you want to be, and taking it step by step. It's like, okay, I have to get more organized, I have to get more disciplined, and then you move it forward that way. And you're actually going to see that this time of chaos becomes a time of tremendous growth and tremendous power. Your subconscious spirit animal card is the badger, and this says be fearless and bold. And that's how subconsciously you are going to face this retrograde, Scorpio. You are going to be fearless and bold and absolutely empowered. All right, Scorpio, I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. I hope this retrograde can be gotten through easily and quickly, and it's going to bring a lot of beautiful lessons and a lot of knowing your own personal strength. It's like, wow, I can handle a lot more than I ever thought, or wow, I'm a lot better at this than I ever thought I was. All right. I wish you guys the very, very best. I love you all. Bye.